WWE is hotter than ever these days, and with the WWE and UFC merger having been finalized, WWE's stock is going to reach even new heights. The decision to heavily favor international PLEs has put the WWE at the forefront of the entertainment industry, paralleling an influence that was only seen by Hollywood. Yes, the ratings have been much better than they were in the last couple of years, but there lies a major problem that may not be apparent right now, but could end up causing more damage than good in the long run. WWE, despite the great matches it's putting on, isn't giving its complete focus on the storylines that are going on, especially on Raw. The Bloodline storyline was hot at the beginning of this year, but it's completely cold right now. It's the same with other feuds too. Ever since Triple H took creative control, both Raw and Smackdown have felt important. Morale is up, or was up. With Vince returning to power, there have been noticeable changes and last-minute rewrites, and storylines that suffer from poor booking. So today, we'll be looking at why the company should start focusing on storylines more than the matches. Let's get into it. The key issue. It should be noted that ever since Triple H took control of the creative department, the quality of the matches we see has vastly improved. The first event Triple H booked was SummerSlam last year, and no premium live event has been bad thus far. In fact, all of them have been great, and WWE is on a hot streak of putting on excellent events. Wrestlers are capable of putting on classics, and they should be allowed to do their thing inside the ring. This year has been full of great matches. Matches that superstars like Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Seth Rollins, and even the performers in NXT have had are top tier. But a great match is no excuse for poor storylines. Yes, we are not taking away from the great job Triple H has done in the past year. The Bloodline storyline is one of the best in history. Gunther is on his way to becoming a modern-day legend with his Intercontinental Championship reign, and Seth Rollins is doing his best work of his career. So, what's the issue? Some will say the major issue is the return of Vince McMahon, the devil himself. Vince is giving his input on every single storyline and is forcing shows to be changed at the last minute. This is preventing Triple H from bringing his vision to life. I mean, that's what some people are thinking. Or, is there really truth in him saying that he is no longer in the weeds when cultivating creative ideas? The real issue is that there needs to be a combination of the two approaches, but there should only be one leader steering the creative ship. And we can say with confidence that Triple H is the ideal guy to take the WWE to the future. Triple H is the guy. Yes, he has made some questionable or flat booking decisions, but also look at the great things he has accomplished. He made Sami Zayn into one of the best babyfaces in the world. Judgment Day in the hands of Vince was going nowhere, but Triple H has turned the stable into the centerpiece of the show. Vince wanted to bury Gunther, and Triple H made him into one of the biggest threats in the entire WWE roster. The difference between the booking of Vince and Triple H is that Vince tries to establish a babyface that is forced down the throats of the fans, while Triple H on the other side establishes strong heels. Roman Reigns felt more natural in Triple H's version of Smackdown. On the flip side of the coin, Roman was battling Brock for the 100th time in Vince's era as an unliked babyface. Can you see the difference? Triple H values realism in characters on TV, and Vince valued creating a structured build-up of a star in a repetitive scheme. Instead of allowing natural development, Vince would change a character once they moved from NXT to the main roster. For example, Karrion Kross's persona, Pete Dunne into Butch, and LA Knight into Max Dupree. Triple H realized this and reverted some of these stars back to their original character. Some of the unpredictable returns were refreshing, and the development of wrestlers is definitely seen as a positive. But Triple H's booking needs to be more reminiscent of an era that he was a part of, and an era that we all love to this day. The Attitude Era. Why storylines are important. Making comparisons to the Attitude Era is a cliche at this point. But to be honest, that era is a perfect example of how WWE used to prioritize storylines over matches. Anything could happen. That used to be the mentality of Vince when he was booking the shows in the late 90s. Back then, the stories had continuity and they made logical sense. You never know what was going to happen next when a story progressed, and it made you want to watch the shows without skipping anything. Kane's debut is a great example. For weeks, WWE was hyping up the debut of Kane and how he was going to challenge his half-brother, The Undertaker. As the story progressed between The Undertaker and Paul Bearer, fans couldn't wait for Kane's arrival. This led to arguably the greatest debut of all time. Kane cost The Undertaker his match against Shawn Michaels inside Hell in a Cell, and fans were so invested that they were thrilled for the first ever encounter between The Undertaker and Kane. Vince also paid the same attention to the Midcard storylines as he did to the megastars of that era, and the pops for Midcarders used to be as loud as they are for someone like John Cena today. Feuds with Val Venus and Kai and Tai, DX and the Nation of Domination, and in the Ruthless Aggression era, Rey Mysterio's feud with Eddie Guerrero are good examples, as they were solid mid-card feuds that got fans on the edge of their seats. The silver lining. We seem to have turned a corner, however. Despite the Bloodline storyline taking much of the TV time, Triple H is starting to bring back some of the focus to the mid-card storylines too, while keeping the authenticity in character development. You want proof? That LA Knight and The Miz feud elevated both characters by showcasing their high-level mic skills and chemistry to drive their story. Let's look at some other recent examples of Triple H's booking. Shinsuke's feud with Seth feels fresh and real. Shinsuke's career had to be revitalized, and Triple H did that for him by producing video packages that allowed Nakamura to cut a promo in his native language while being a great threat to Seth's world title. Another recent example has to be Chad Gable's quest to win the Intercontinental Championship. The feud of him wanting to defeat Gunther just for his kids even adds more importance to his matches with Gunther. Storylines are a huge part of making fans invest in an upcoming match. Otherwise, billing a dream match without any substance makes the fan not care at all. Fans cared when Stone Cold was putting Vince's life to hell every week. They cared when Mick Foley was fighting hard to become WWE Champion. Fans cared when the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian were battling for the Tag Team Championship. Having a story is important. It's the reason why fans tune in to see Raw and SmackDown in the first place. The stories build up the matches. Didn't you see the reaction to the Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn match at this year's Elimination Chamber event? That's the power of storytelling. Without storytelling, there's no professional wrestling or sports entertainment. The Vince McMahon era is fading out, and he may not have it anymore, nor does he need to. Triple H, however, understands this industry, and with a few tweaks, WWE can go back to producing the perfect balance of compelling storylines and amazing matches. The premium live events have been a great example of this. However, the storyline aspect is what needs to be highlighted over the matches when it comes to booking Raw and SmackDown in order to make those 5-star matches mean something to the audience. It is episodic television for a reason. But wait! With the completion of the WWE and UFC merger, things can end up in a different route. With WWE and UFC completing their merger to form the TKO Group Holdings, Vince McMahon is not only one of the board members, but is also the chairman of TKO Group Holdings. Despite selling the company, Vince is now more powerful than ever. He can control about anything in WWE, including creative. Triple H remains the head of creative, but let's be real, Vince making last-minute changes to both Raw and SmackDown may still continue. Why? Because Vince always loves to be a part of the creative department. The majority of fans and even the talent have voiced their opinion that Triple H should be given complete creative control, and we believe that is the right and the perfect move. But only time will tell. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe for more.